And we're back. Welcome back to the rundown. My name is Andrew Kuhn on air live with Vetla Forshland. Vetla, how are we doing today?
I'm great. How are you, Andrew?
Doing well. So I sent you a message late last night. I was on a walk. It was like 10:30
Mhm.
p.m. Sunday night. I was on a walk. I actually, a little side note, I downloaded this new app called Earnings Calls. And it's pretty sweet because you just have all these earnings calls of public companies right from the app. So I decided I'm going to start to just really work that into my walks as I go on like nightly walks. It's usually like an hour and a half, and usually I listen to Audible. But now I'm going to start listening to earnings calls.
Wow.
Anyways,
Is it
so
free though?
it is. They do have a premium version, which I haven't
All
even
right.
gotten that far. I think it's if you want to download the videos, but it's only like I think $10 a month or $50 a year or something. But again, the way I always think about that, if you use it every single day,
Yeah.
it's worth it. So, anyways, that's an interesting app. Make sure you download that. No affiliation
Yeah.
to us. I just think it's pretty cool.
I
Anyways,
actually have a tip for a earnings call for you to listen to.
what is
That
it?
came out about 2 weeks ago, I think. North American Tankers with
North American
Herbing
tankers.
Hansen. Yeah, North American Tankers. It was just hilarious. The CEO, he's Norwegian, Bjørn Hansson. He's just quite a character. You should just listen to the whole thing.
Okay, yeah, I will. What was funny about it? Was he just like,
No, just listening to Bjørn just quipping back at the analysts that's joking to him, he joking back, and he's very knowledgeable about the tanker market. So it's not like just the silly earnings call, but it's just hilarious to listen to him.
oh, cool, yeah, definitely, I will do that.
Nice.
Anyway, so it's 10:30 at night. That low.
Hmm.
All of a sudden I get a notification that Trevor Milton, our friend Trevor Milton of Nikola Motors, is stepping down from Nikola. Insane. So I sent you a message saying, oh my God, we're going to talk about this tomorrow. And I just was like, this is just, I guess, apparently just a typical Sunday night in 2020, right? Just
Right.
all craziness. So Heidenberg comes out saying that, let's see. So they tweet saying, Frank Wade's reporting Trevor Milton has resigned as executive chairman of Nikola Motors and has departed the company effective immediately. And then they say, we think this is just the beginning. Did I lose you?
Yeah. You lost me there. Yeah.
We're back though. We're back. We're just gonna keep
You're
rolling
back.
with it. So they tweeted that at 10:39 p.m. That came across the wire, and then Trevor tweeted at 1:21 a.m. He said, "I will be cheering from the sidelines with you, your greatest fan." And basically, he 4 paragraphs on him stepping down as Nikola, and that it's effective immediately. Actually, he tweeted it first and then everyone started like really trashing him in the tweets back. So then he retweeted it, like deleted it, and then tweeted it again. But he did that new Twitter function where you could make yourself the only
Right.
person that you can respond to it.
So
So then
that's why I
nobody
did it.
else, yeah. So then nobody could respond to it. Of course, you
Right.
could quote tweet it, retweet it, like it, but
Hmm.
you can't actually give it back to him. So pretty crazy. The stock is down about, let's see, right now, 17%.
Hmm.
And it's absolutely crazy. I mean, so okay, let's
Yeah.
talk about this, right? So GM just partnered with them like what,
Mhm.
12, 13 days ago with
Yeah.
Nikola.
Like 2 weeks
And
ago. Yeah.
all they're talking about is how Trevor is such an integral part to this process or to this company and like rolling this out and everything. Then Heidelberg comes out with their short report. He says that losers basically or cowards run, leaders stay and fight for integrity, and then he resigns 11 days later. That
Oh
level.
my God. Yeah. I forgot about it that he said that, oh, cowards run away or something like that. Then he runs away. Wow. It's
Yeah.
too good to be true. I would probably think, though, that GM pushed him out or something like that. I don't think he ran away, or I honestly don't think that he's seeing this like the end of Nikola or something like that. So he just thought that he had to run. Most likely there were some people from the inside that were trying to push him out, but I don't know. It's funny though, because in the 10K or the S1 or whatever it is that they publish, they had like a long risk factor about Trevor Milton, and they say how he's such an integral part of the company. He comes up with all the ideas. If he leaves, there might not even be a Nikola, and now he leaves, and yeah, it's interesting. I would also add though that if you look at the intraday chart, you can see that it was down from about noon, from like $29 to about $1. And the reason why it was down, I think, was because that Twitter account of that old guy, that John Rich something, he tweeted out that Trevor Milton was arrested in an airport in Sydney or something. And then people just took that and ran away with it. I think TechCrunch tweeted about it. They said that he was arrested by the FBI.
Oh
I'm
my
in
God.
like a stock market chat with a lot of, heavyweights, and people were talking about it in there. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this is a parody or something like that. But I think the stock fell about 7 or 8% because of that joke.
Yeah, so he tweeted it out. I did see that. And then I was looking at Nikola's, their news, and they said Yahoo Finance confirms that Trevor Milton has not been arrested. And, the stock popped up a little bit, but just absolutely crazy. I mean, what's going to happen, with this company going forward, do you think? I mean, so it's like, again, we've talked about this, right? This company doesn't have a product. They're pre-revenue. I mean, if you were to, invest in this, like, the point in the life cycle is technically it's like they're like what series A, or maybe even a little bit past like an angel investment. I mean, I don't even know like, the life cycle of venture capital, but it's just like, what's going to happen now? So now they're a $10.72 billion company. The reason all these people have invested in this business is now gone. I mean, what's going to happen now? And it's probably good for Tesla. I mean, Elon's probably like, holy cow, this is great.
But everything about Nikola just seems like poor man's Tesla in every single way. But like Trevor Milton, and he's stepping down as chairman, but he was never the CEO though. But I feel like you can argue that the case for Tesla is Elon Musk, and I'll reluctantly agree with it, that Elon Musk has really been pushing Tesla forward in a lot of different ways. And I don't think you can say that about Trevor Milton. I think that, but like, as you mentioned, like Nikola is such an early stage company that they don't have any revenue. They don't have a product. They don't have any real customers. So it's like, I'm just baffled. I just don't understand how this could possibly be worth $10 billion, because it's like, if I walked into a venture capitalist's office and I said, look, I have a product and this car is going to run on, and then I make up some energy, it's like, and then they're going to give me a lot of money for just having an idea for something that might be something in the future. It's just ridiculous for this to be valued at $10 billion, in my opinion. I don't know.
I mean, what do you do if you were GM right now? Could you imagine this?
Yeah.
Imagine having just a normal, well, I'm sure they found out about it earlier in the day, but just a Sunday night, 10 o'clock, maybe you're laying in bed, maybe you've started drinking your nighttime tea to fall asleep. 10:30 comes around, and then all this happens, and then he tweets at 1 a.m. I mean, what do you do if you're GM?
I mean, you have to fire somebody, first of all. I don't know who came up with this, but this is, first of all, what a horrible idea in the first place. And then second of all, who did the research in Nikola? Did they just give them $2 billion and didn't even care to do the research here? Or I guess they probably just bought the brand name or something like that, but now the brand turns out to be maybe a fraud. Who knows?
So a $10 billion brand name of a, company that just came public in like June or whatever, Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, $2 billion, because that's the thing. But
So
it's just,
GM is down 6%.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, this is literally, what do they say? Sometimes like truth is stranger than fiction. Like you wouldn't be able to make this up in like a story. I mean, you just wouldn't be able to. This is just absolutely insane.
And
so
I
he
think
steps down.
The market has just been, I don't know, it's just gotten weirder and weirder and weirder. We have all these strange stories. I mean, I used to think that a year ago that Tesla was surreal. I think that Tesla is reasonably priced now, and the Tesla story is easy to buy into. Yeah. But since Tesla Q were close to being right, and since 420 and everything in 2018 and early 2019, we've had, WeWork has been a major fraud. Wirecard was uncovered earlier this year, and now Nikola. It just seems like the frauds are getting weirder and weirder and more fraudier and fraudier for every step of the way.
I mean, literally, imagine being in Trevor's situation, right? Imagine like 12, 13 days ago, announcing this new GM partnership. Your stock is up 30 to 40%. you're
Mhm.
probably like, okay, now we're over the hump. We got this vote of confidence from a big car manufacturer. And then not even 2 weeks later, having to step down or choosing to step down, whatever it is. I mean, it's
Right.
baffling. It's insane. That like
Right.
you
Because of one research firm, one boutique research firm that just did a shit ton of research, and they published like what was like 10 pages worth of research, and it just took down the entire company. It's impressive.
no, it's very impressive. But clearly, there's a lot of stuff that's true in there because, and we know that like with them pushing the truck down the hill and
Mhm.
stuff like that. But
And to me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if anything else is wrong. That thing, it just says so much about the company. It's literally nothing.
That's what I'm
It's
saying. Like,
just
what is it now? So, what's the
yeah.
investment case for people? People were like, "Oh,
Mhm.
Trevor's going to do this," or
Mhm.
we got GM. I mean, what is the investment case right now? If you were a shareholder,
Right.
what would you be thinking? What would you? I mean, you'd probably be dumping it, right? I don't know, but it's just like I don't understand why people, would even hold on to this company. I mean, how long until Trevor starts selling all of his stuff?
Well, that's probably why he stepped down, right? So now
Mm-hmm.
he's no longer locked up.
Yeah, absolutely
Probably,
crazy.
I don't know. But I had a tweet actually today because we mentioned that Nikola was pre-revenue.
Yeah.
That's not entirely true. They had like sales of $36,000 last quarter, and all of that.
Oh.
Yeah, right.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
It's at 2,000 times sales, not 0 times sales. Okay.
Got it.
So, but like those revenue numbers were from Nikola, like make like what was it? They built a Trevor Milton's garage, or they arranged some solar panels on his roof or something like that. So now that he's gone, their only customer is gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's one way to look at it.
Negative 100% customer retention. Look at that, Bella.
Right.
Absolutely insane. It's just a disgrace to public markets, if you ask me. And all
Yeah.
these people that came in and trading this, now I'm gonna have to hear about forever how Trevor Milton screwed them and
Oh yeah.
blah blah blah. And it's like, really?
Who could have seen this coming?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who screwed themselves? Like, sure, but if you're playing with fire, you're gonna get burnt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I
Absolutely
think there's
insane.
one thing that I think is more crazy than Nikola, and it's a company called Nel. So Nel is a Norwegian hydrogen company, and it's one of the most overhyped companies in Oslo. It's valued at I think 20 billion kroners, about $2 billion. So that's a lot for a small exchange like the Oslo Stock Exchange. It's also relatively pre-revenue. They don't have any earnings. But the entire growth case for this stock is that they have one partnership with, you guessed it, Nikola. So 80% of their earnings estimates from analysts over the next decade, it was supposed to, or is supposed to, come from Nikola. And so now Nikola is uncovered as basically a fraud, but the Nel is still up 80% year to date, or 70% or something like that. I think, yeah. So I think Nel might actually be an even better short than Nikola if you want to short one of these things.
Yeah, I really like that. What's the ticker on that?
It's Nel.ol. So the Oslo Stock Exchange, and then NEL.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Cool. Next thing we could briefly talk about, markets. How long until CNBC puts back on markets in turmoil? The segment on there, we're down about 2% today.
It's not on already?
I don't know. It probably is. I don't really, I don't watch it, but I wonder. Now we have sports are back on, and then you have things like Nikola coming out, where all these people that recently got involved in the market, similar to like 1999. They're starting to lose their shirts. What's going to happen to the market? I mean, we don't really know where the market's going to go so much over the long term, but it's a pretty healthy pullback. Of course, people think it's exactly that, a healthy pullback. Do you have any thoughts on it?
I actually saw the most bearish sign. Sorry, but I just saw the most bearish sign ever that I've ever seen on Twitter today. You want to hear it?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Sven Henrik is getting bullish.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There's your contraindicator.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, everyone was so bullish going into the election. I read a lot of like investor reports, and with interest rates being at zero, and Trump basically wanting to goose up his election. A lot of people said that they thought the market would rise into the election. a lot of times when everyone thinks one way, I feel like the market does the complete opposite. Kind of similar
Yeah.
to, back in March and April when people thought we are going to continue to go down. But, look, I think the market returns over the next 10 years are probably going to be low single digits. And I think there's going to be a lot of volatility. I really do. I really think it's a great time to be a stock picker. You may look, stupid over the last 3 or 4 months, but I really do believe that over the next, 10 years. And I think also into the election, there's going to be a lot of volatility, and, we'll see what happens, but, we'll just see. We'll see. I mean, if Trump, and I know I don't know how familiar you are with American politics and stuff, but if Trump loses the election, I think things are just still going to go bananas. If he wins, things are going to also go bananas. I said that before.
Like what?
Just berserk. People are going to go crazy, I think.
Oh.
Or maybe he'll go crazy if he loses. I don't even know. And I don't want to get too much into politics, but I have said whatever side wins, the other side is just going to go crazy. Portland's been, Armageddon because of, you could say politics or, whatever, riots. It's just people are going to go crazy on both sides. Yeah. So
it's kind of sad to see how polarized
it is.
It's getting.
Yeah. What do people from Norway think about that?
Well, about American politics?
Yeah, just all that sort of stuff.
Oh, well, I think that most of Europe are like just looking at the United States and thinking like, wow, what a bunch of maniacs, and what are they doing? And it's like, and they have like the stupidest guy in the world as president. And
is that what they think of Trump?
Yeah. And I actually think it's kind of, maybe it's kind of hypocritical that everyone has one opinion about a guy, and then you never see anybody take the other side of it. But anyways, I think that why it's hypocritical is because, I think that in a lot of ways, the United States is in better shape than Europe. But all you hear from the Europeans' perspective is how much better Europe is than the United States, when Europe is basically, a melting ice cube in terms of growth. We have no tech, and we have less inequality, but like we also have less wealth. So, but I don't know. It's a complicated issue.
Yeah, the Fed came out last week and said that they're going to keep rates at the Fed.
Oh,
they're going to keep rates at virtually nothing until, was it 2022 or 2023? So now you have, QE still and, low rates. And
isn't he speaking today, Powell? I think he is.
Is he? Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of get it through the Wall Street Journal on Twitter. But anyways, we'll see what happens. And, I don't know. I mean, what would you be doing right now? Just continuing to, look for the gems and all the expensive companies? Just any advice for any of that?
You mentioned that you think it's a stock picker's market. It's like a cliche thing to say, but I think you're right. I think stock pickers are going to make a lot more money over the next 10 years than people buying an index fund. If you're a good stock picker, of course. I saw a chart today about the FTSE 100. And if you pick the right time period, of course, it's unchanged since 1998. And I think that's kind of mind-blowing. Like, this is one of the largest exchanges in the world, or indexes in the world. And it's flat over a 20-year period, or 22-year period. You rarely see that. But if you picked your spot, you're definitely made a lot of money buying British stocks. So even though the overall market might seem expensive, I think there are plenty of opportunities out there.
Got it. Cool. And speaking of opportunities, you said you wanted to pitch a stock. So let's hear it.
Yeah, there's this stock that I've been looking at, and you hear a lot about people talking about how all quality companies are so expensive. It's impossible to find a quality company at a cheap price, and et cetera, et cetera. Well, I think this company called CTT System in Stockholm, Sweden is looking kind of cheap, and it's obviously a great company. So they're basically the leading provider of humidity control products for aircrafts that control like the humidity in the cabin and the fuselage in airplanes. So their products are supposed to solve a problem they call the humidity paradox, where the air is too dry in the cabin for passengers and too wet for the aircraft structures due to condensation. So what happens is that the actual air inside the plane is very, hard to breathe in, and there a lot of water is stuck inside the cabin, which or in the fuselage, which makes the airplane about 200 kilos heavier, which leads to higher fuel costs and higher emissions and etc. So these are things that airplanes are incentivized to solve. And CTT Systems has a monopoly for solving this. They provide a product and nobody else provides a product like it. So there's
Interesting.
very interesting.
So
Very interesting.
CTC Systems, like cat.
CTT, cat, tiger.
Got it. Just for
Yeah.
everybody listening. How'd you come across this company? Take us through this process, Ella.
Oh, so there's a fund management company called Odin Asset Management, and they have a fund called Odin Small Cap. So I just looked through the holdings they had, and I looked for the ones that hadn't gone too well.
Mm-hmm.
And so CTT System is down, I think 40% year to date or 30% year to date.
Yeah, it looks like it was at 264, back in, pre-pandemic, back in, call it end of February. Now it's at 121. So,
exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's how I found it. I was just looking through. Basically, you just posted a video about it, about following people through 13Fs. That's basically what I did, but through a institutional fund. So, but I think right now it's trading at 16 times 2019 earnings, which is very good for what is literally a monopoly. Now, that is going to be a lot lower this year due to lower after sales earnings, because airplanes are not really flying at all this year. But over the long term, long haul aircrafts or the fleet for long haul aircrafts is expected to grow at a CAGR of between like 10 and 20% from 2018 till 2038. So with decent penetration for CTT Systems into these new aircrafts, EBIT could easily grow between 10 and 20% over a very long period of time. And at the same time, if they increase or if they get more after sales earnings, then their margins can go up from like 30% today to probably like 40% over the long term. So if you assume like an exit multiple of say 25 times earnings, 10% EBIT growth, a mature free cash flow yield of 3.5%, I think it's possible to get like 15 to 20% returns per year over the next 5 years. I think it seems cheap in terms of the quality here. Now, obviously 2020 and maybe 21 is going to be tough years, but they have the liquidity to survive the crisis.
I was gonna say, what's their balance sheet look like? Are they
right? They have net cash and they have credit facilities, so that's not really an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the market is just pricing in. Well, first of all, they lost a contract with Airbus about the new A320 airplanes, I think, where they were supposed to have their products into their new I think it's A320 aircraft fleets, and then Airbus just cut R&D across the board in August, which included CTT Systems product. So they kind of lost that. They lost that contract, which is definitely very bad for the short term.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the worst part about that piece of news is that it doesn't bode well for CTT Systems when their future success relies on their ability to penetrate new aircrafts.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll put that down low. I'll have to take a look at that. That does sound interesting. Do a majority of their business on like long-term contracts and stuff like that?
So what they do is that they sell a product, and then they have an after sales contract for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And after sales has like really high margins. I think after sales is about 50% of their earnings, and then OEM sales is about 40%, and then VIP sales, so to jets and stuff like that, is like 10% of sales.
Interesting. Yeah, well, it's really off the beaten path. So I will put that company down low, and I will definitely take a look at that. Vetla, thank you so much for coming on to the rundown today. We've been talking a lot about Trevor Milne and Nikola. I don't think this is the end that we're going to hear about Trevor Milne and Nikola. I think we're just, kind of getting started with it, and there's a lot of drama to come.
So what do you think? Do you think that Nikola will exist in, say, 5 years?
I don't. No.
Okay.
Not at all. I think like the case for it, you know, Trevor Milton gone, if he was the case, you know, with him being gone, I think it's completely, I think the dominoes are starting to fall. And it's going to be a fun story to read about in the Wall Street Journal.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. So buyer beware. I would be very worried if I was a shareholder. I would sell because, you know, now the story's clearly changed, but I would have owned it in the first place. Anyways, I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in with Vetla and I on The Rundown. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. 36% of people that watch our videos, the stats have gone down. 36% are not subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow Vetla on Twitter. His @ is in the About section. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next Rundown.